Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take what does. If it does not, leave what does not. I am still under the weather, so if my voice sounds off, that's why. I still have a sore throat. Thank you so much for all of your kind words and your well wishers and suggestions for tea and honey, and I really appreciate that. I've been drinking a lot of tea with honey, so thank you very much for that, and let's get to the reading. Hopefully I will feel better soon. It's no fun being sick, although the girls are happy because I'm home. All right, so we have Judgment card. Awakening, renewal, revival, being able to see something. Something is being presented in front of you. Something is being shown to you, okay? I feel like it has to do with other people that are surrounding you. We have the Five of Swords, and that is about not, that people are talking about your behind your back, but you're not letting it get to you, that you're cutting that down, right? You're saying, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to stand for this anymore. And I feel like with the Page of Cups, that's about your emotions and your feelings. And it could be that you are finally seeing what is going on behind your back. And you're not going to let this bother you anymore. You're not going to let this get to that. You're kind of looking at how you're responding to someone or other people. And you're kind of thinking, you know what, every time I'm around this person, every time I'm in this situation, or this person's always trying to stir the pot, or I feel like you're seeing how you're reacting to this, and you're seeing how it's affecting you in different areas of your life. And I feel like you kind of have this aha moment of, hey, I'm not going to let this happen to me anymore. I'm not going to let this person affect me, because this is stopping my progress. This is stopping me from being in a good place. Sometimes we don't realize the people around us that are affecting us, that their energy, that we're taking in their energy. And I totally believe that people take in the energy that they have around them. Like I said before, I work with the public, and definitely people feed off other people's energy. I mean, there is no doubt about it. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've felt it. So I feel like this is something that you need to be aware of, is that the energy from someone else could possibly be affecting you, and you're like, I'm not dealing with that anymore, right? The Death card. It's letting go of something that you were holding on to. Sometimes it's really hard because if it's somebody that we've had in our life for a really long time, or we've just kind of known and we've just kind of accepted that. But I feel like you're rising to a higher level, so you're like, I'm not going to accept less than anymore. That I deserve better, and that I feel like throughout our lives we have to make those changes, those relationship changes with people, because we grow. You know, that if we're trying to grow and we're trying to move forward, that we're evolving, and sometimes the people that are around us are not moving at the same rate, or they're happy where they are and they're not ready to see those changes that they need to make, but we feel like we are, so we have to adjust those relationships. And I feel like this is one of those situations, and sometimes you feel guilty. You're like, well, I've known this person forever, but then I feel like if you really sit down and you look back at it and you say, okay, I've known this person forever, and what kind of relationship have I had with this person? Is it a good relationship? Is it a positive relationship? Is it a supportive relationship? Is it a drama relationship? Is it a relationship that is draining? Is it a relationship that lifts me up, or is it a relationship that pulls me down? And I feel like that's something that you have to really look at, and that will help you to give you the answers. I feel like this Two of Pentacles has been coming out a lot, and that is finding that balance. Maybe it's finding that balance within this relationship with this person. It's like, okay, yes, I'll still be in contact with this person, but I'm not going to be as vulnerable to this person, because I feel like when I am vulnerable to this person, that this person takes advantage of it and it drains me. You know, I feel like it could be that looking at the relationship and finding out what is that balance with that person. Is it someone that's kind of stifling you? For some reason, that's just been coming into my mind. Is it someone who is stifling you and you're feeling like this weight on your back and you're feeling this heavy energy from this person? Is this person always like not giving you your space and your freedom? And maybe that's something that you're opening your eyes to, and you're like, hey, this person doesn't give me my space. This person doesn't give me my freedom to do what I want to do. Every time I want to do something that they don't agree with, that they try and find a way to talk me out of it. And is that something that you have to adjust? I feel like this is a new feeling for you. I feel like this is new energy for you when you realize this and you work on these things and you have this death card where you are transforming and you are changing, and this is a new feeling, and you're finding that balance between those relationships that have to be readjusted so that they are more positive for you, that they are more fulfilling for you, right? It definitely has to do with relationships. It could be with a partnership. Maybe it's a partnership that you have to look at, right? Are you feeling balance in this partnership? Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes, you know, because they're family and maybe you've had obviously you've had a long-term relationship with them, that you feel this obligation. But I feel like it's looking at that relationship and saying, is it really something that's positive for me? Or is it something that is draining me? Is it something that I feel is a burden for me? And what are those things that I can do to change if I want change? I mean, this is something that you have to decide for yourself if you want change. But my feeling is that this reading is for that person who is ready for change, because our first card out was the Judgment card, where it is something is being presented to you. Your eyes are awakened. It is seeing something clearer, seeing something from a different perspective. It's kind of opening your eyes to something. And I feel like this Five of Swords is that something, but I feel like it has to do with other people and relationships, and that's something that you're opening your eyes to. Sometimes we just don't realize it. Sometimes our judgment is so clouded by what's going on around us, right? It's so clouded with this Five of Swords that we're not even seeing clearly. But I feel like moving forward, that this may be something that catches you by surprise, right? This person may do something that triggers you, and you're like, wait a minute, like, hold on. Sometimes people will say something or they'll do something, and you're like, wait a minute, like, who are you? Or sometimes other people will point it out to us, right? Sometimes we'll be with someone and then it'll be a few days later, but we're feeling angry or feeling sad or feeling irritated. And sometimes another person will come in and say, hey, because I've had this happen to me where I've been with a certain person and then it's been like a few days later, and then another friend of mine says, hey, were you with so-and-so? Were you around so-and-so? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, well, that explains why you're feeling this way, why you're feeling heavy, why you're feeling down. And then I started to look at it and I'm like, yes, I'm like, every time I'm with that person, which I wasn't really seeing, which took someone else for me to see, that every time I'm around that person, it's very draining for me and it affects me for days afterwards. And it's just like I feel irritated and angry and, you know, frustrated. And it's like, like, why am I feeling this way? Like, I feel like things are going good, but it's that energy, picking up that energy from that person, right? Emotions, very emotional. I feel like there's a lot of emotions going on here, a lot of emotions that you have to tap into, emotions that you have to work through, emotions involving relationships. It could be the relationship that you have with yourself, looking at your own emotions, looking at how you're feeling. Sometimes, like I said, we just kind of go with the flow and we just kind of accept things. But I feel like this is something is being brought to your attention, to your eyes, that you are seeing clearer and you're wanting to, you're wanting to adjust, make changes. Sorry. All right, let's see if there's any more. Again, King of Cups. We have King and Queen of Cups, so that could, again, have to do with emotions, feelings, relationships, connections, letting things go. Sometimes we feel like we have to get in the last word, right? Sometimes we feel like, okay, I need to get in the last word, you know, especially being Capricorn. It's like, okay, we can definitely be stubborn. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising. So I do know that, where there are times where I want to get in the last word, but I've learned to let that go, right? Being the King of Cups is just letting things go, going with the flow, letting those things go, because really, is it worth it to get in the last word? I mean, sometimes it is, right? Sometimes we have that satisfaction, but then I feel like it's looking at, okay, getting in the last word, has that really helped me? Has that really, in the long run, would have been better if I had just walked away and let it go? You know that saying, pick your battles. So it could be with that too, is pick your battles about, and if it's something that you've always done, it's something that you have to be more aware of, and you have to kind of stop yourself from doing that. And I feel like it is being more aware, not only of what people are bringing into us, but what we are giving out to other people, because sometimes that can trigger them, and then this turns into a big fight and a big argument, all right? So we have these two cards which came out reversed. It's the Ten of Wands and the Two of Cups. So I feel like this is something you have not worked through, okay? This is something that is still, because tens are completions, but you haven't completed this. So this is something that you have to work on. It has to do with a relationship. It could have to, again, do with yourself. Like, are you just trying to get in that last word, right? And is that really a positive thing for you? Or are you trying to get in the last word in a relationship? And is that really something that is worth the fights or the arguments or the direction then that's going to bring things? And is it just, sometimes it's like, sometimes when, like, if you keep doing it to someone and they keep backing down, is that really healthy for that person too, right? If it's your partner, like always nitpicking or always badgering or always like saying negative remarks. And I feel like maybe that's something to be aware of. Like, is that something that you're doing just because you're getting in the last word? Like, looking at how is that making the other person feel? Like, are they laughing and they're like, okay, yeah, you're right? Or are they just being like submissive and they're backing down and they're looking like they're sad and they're being defeated, you know? And kind of maybe being more aware of that, and then looking at your own actions and saying, do I really need to get in the last word? Look what it's doing to my partner. Look at what it's doing to this person. And is that the person that I want to be towards that person or other people? And are you doing it to other people in other relationships? It's just something to think about, something to look at. That's what I kind of like for my readings. I feel like this is where it's going. It's just like different, sometimes it's just readings about perspectives, as, you know, looking at the people that are around you and looking at how you're reacting to things and what the energy people are bringing into you, and what is the energy that you're bringing out to people. Because I feel like sometimes, like I said, we just kind of go with, we're just kind of, it's just like automatic. But then it's like, okay, if I'm not feeling fulfilled in my relationships, if I'm not feeling that satisfaction, that fulfillment, what is it what's going on? Like, really looking at what's going on and what can I change? And is it them? Is it me? Is it both? And just being able to see that. And sometimes we just don't think of it. So I just think it's just an eye-opening event. And that's what I like to do with my readings, is kind of give people different perspectives, or food for thought, right? Something to think about. A different perspective. It's kind of like being a good friend, like a good friend, someone that you can trust, right? That will say, hey, you know, why do you feel like you always have to get the last word in? Is that really beneficial to you and that person? Like, a really good friend will say that to you and kind of point those things out and give you that constructive criticism, or will give you those perspectives from a different, you know, give you those suggestions from a different perspective, because they're seeing things differently. So I kind of feel like that's what my readings are, is maybe for you to see something from a different perspective, which I've read your messages, and, you know, people are saying that, hey, you know, thank you for that perspective, or, you know, for me being able to see that. And that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love, because this helps me too, right, in my life and my relationships. And so that's why I try and tell you my experiences, because it's helped me, and I want to share that with you, because I feel like my life is in the best place it's ever been in my whole entire life. And I want to share that, because I have struggled for decades with things, and I don't want other people to. And if I can help just one person just to see something from a different perspective that changes and turn things around so that your life just kind of goes with the flow, and you enjoy life, and you're not letting those things bother you, and you're having fulfilling relationships around you, then I just feel like that's a wonderful thing. And I feel like if you have information that you can share with other people, I feel like that's what we should do, is to share that so others can learn and grow from it. Obviously, people have to be in the mode of receiving it, because if you're not in the mode for receiving it, then you will find a way to find what's wrong about it and complain about it. And that's fine, because they're on a different path in their journey. All right, Wombat Spirit, be at home. That's exactly like what this reading is being comfortable in your own skin, being at home, feeling comfortable, feeling happy, feeling fulfilled with your relationships with other people and within yourself, and feeling like your home is your space, your safe space, like you're feeling safe. And you're letting go of those things that you don't need to worry about, right? You're just like, I'm just going to let it go. Like, I don't need to get in the last word every single time. And that lightens the energy between possibly you and your partner. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.